A child alone in the stars in the cold darkness of space. A small human ship floated quietly near a lonely moon. Inside, Captain Ray Monroe sat in his pilot seat, sipping cold coffee and watching the stars. He had been alone for years, doing small transport jobs and staying away from trouble. Life was simple. Life was quiet until today. A soft beat broke the silence, a signal, weak, broken, but strange. It wasn't from Earth. Ray leaned forward, pressed a button, and the signal played. Through the speaker's it was a voice, small, afraid. My alien father is gone. Please, be my new dad. Human. Ray froze. What the hell? He whispered. The voice was not human. It was a child. Ray checked the source. A crash site on the nearby moon. No ships were supposed to be there. He hesitated. It could be a trap. Pirates sometimes use fake signals. But something about the voice felt real, sad, honest. And Ray knew what it felt like to lose a child. He turned the ship toward the moon. As Ray landed near the crash, he saw smoke rising from a silver alien vessel. It looked damaged beyond repair. The area was quiet. No signs of life, yet. He stepped outside in his spacesuit, holding a small laser pistol just in case. The air on the moon was thin, but enough to breathe. He moved toward the wreck. Suddenly, a small figure stepped out from behind the ship. It had blue skin, big glowing eyes, and thin arms. A child, maybe 8 or 9 years old in human years. Ray lowered his gun slowly. Hey there, he said. You sent the signal. The child nodded. I am Kale. The boy said, my father is gone. Ray looked around. Gone? You mean? Kale pointed to the ship. Ray followed him inside. The inside was dark, silent. In one corner, covered with a strange cloth, was a body, an adult alien, still, lifeless. Kale knelt beside it. He saved me and told me to find a human. He said, humans are strong, kind. He said, maybe one of them could be my new dad. Ray felt a strange pain in his chest. He looked away. I'm sorry, kid. Kale stood up. Will you help me? Ray hesitated. I don't even know you. I don't know you either. Kale said softly, but you came. Ray sighed. He looked at the dead father, then at the child. The pain in his heart was too familiar. Years ago, he had lost his own son in an accident. Since then, he avoided people. He avoided caring. But this boy, this wasn't something he could walk away from. All right, Ray said. I'll help you, but we need to get out of here first. Kale smiled, the first smile Ray had seen in years. Back on Ray's ship, Kale sat in the co-pilot seat, looking out the window. Where are we going? He asked. Ray started the engines. Away from here. Somewhere safe. Kale touched a small glowing crystal hanging from his neck. This was my father's, he said. He told me to protect it. Said it was important. Ray glanced at it. What is it? Kale looked down. I don't know, but bad people wanted it. That's why they attacked us. Ray looked at him sharply. Wait, someone attacked your ship. Kale nodded. Big black ships. No lights. They came from the dark, and they were fast. My father flew as fast as he could, but they hit us. We crashed here. He used the last of his energy to hide me and to send the signal. Ray's fingers tightened on the controls. Did they follow you? Kale's eyes went wide. I don't know. Maybe. Ray opened the ship's scanner. Nothing yet. But space was big. Quiet didn't always mean safe. Then Kale whispered something that sent chills down Ray's spine. They're coming for me next. Far behind them, in the darkness between stars, a large black ship moved without sound. It followed the trail of the alien crystal, silent. Deadly dot inside, red eyes watched the path ahead. The hunt had begun. Asterisk, the lost homeworld stars passed slowly outside the windows of Ray's ship, like glowing memories in the dark. Inside, everything was quiet, except for the soft hum of the engine and the occasional beep of the scanner. Kale sat in silence, hugging his knees on the floor near the cockpit. His large blue eyes stared at nothing, lost in thoughts too heavy for a child. Ray glanced at him. You okay, kid? Kale didn't answer. He just nodded without looking up. Ray sighed. He had never been good with words, especially not the soft kind. But the pain in the boy's eyes pulled at something inside him, something he had buried long ago. Ray turned off the autopilot. We need to talk. Kale looked up. About what? About who's chasing you and why? Kale paused. Then he slowly stood and walked to the front of the ship. He pulled the glowing crystal from around his neck and placed it gently on the control panel. "This is what they want," Kale said. "This and me." Ray leaned closer. The crystal shimmered with soft blue light. It didn't look dangerous, but it didn't look normal either. "What is it?" Kale shook his head. "I don't know. My father never explained, but he called it a seed of memory. He said it came from our old home, before the war." Ray raised an eyebrow. "Old home?" Kale nodded. "Zeranos, the real Zerani homeworld. It was lost a long time ago. My people never spoke about it. It's just a story now." Ray sat back. "And your father found it." Kale looked down. "I think he found something there. A secret. Something powerful. He told me if anything happened to him, I must protect the crystal and find a human. A good one." Ray frowned. "Why a human?" Kale's voice dropped to a whisper. "Because only a human can unlock the crystal." That didn't make sense. Why would alien tech respond to a human? Ray started to ask, but then the ship's warning alarm began to beep. "Incoming object. Fast. Small. No ID." Ray jumped to the controls. "Hold on." He turned the ship sharply, dodging a flash of red light that zipped past them like lightning. "They found us," Kale shouted. Ray looked at the radar. One ship, black. No lights, same as Kale had described. It was already turning back for another shot. Ray cursed under his breath and hit the engines. The ship jolted forward. Lights flashed. Warning screamed. "We're not built for speed," Ray said. "This is a cargo hauler, not a fighter." Kale stood, gripping the seat. "Then we have to outsmart them." Ray gave him a quick look. The boy was calm now, focused, like his father had trained him for this. Ray scanned the nearby star map. "There's a gas cloud nearby. Radiation strong. Maybe strong enough to hide us. Let's go." Kale said. The ship dove into the red and orange storm cloud. Lightning crackled across the sky like angry ghosts. The sensors blinked wildly, then went blind. Ray shut off all power except for life support. They floated in silence, surrounded by fire and static. "Will they follow?" Kale asked. "I hope not." Ray whispered. Minutes passed like hours. Then silence. The enemy ship did not follow, or at least they didn't find them. Ray slowly powered up the engines. But the moment he did, the crystal on the dashboard began to glow brighter. Kale gasped. "It's reacting to something." Ray looked around. "What's out here?" Kale touched the crystal. "Not something. Someplace." A soft voice, almost like a song, played from the crystal. It was in Zerani language, but Kale understood. "It's showing me coordinates," he said. "Old ones. Deep space. Far away from any system." Ray read the screen. "This is in the dead zone. No ships go there. No stars. Nothing." Kale looked at him. "It's the way to Zeranos." Ray blinked. "Your lost homeworld." Kale nodded. "The secret is there. My father said the truth is buried under the stars. Maybe the crystal wants to go home." Ray sat back, confused, unsure, but also curious. A dead world. A child holding a key. A galaxy full of enemies. And for the first time in years, Ray felt something new. Purpose. Far across space, on a dark planet lit by cold machines, a tall alien figure stood before a circle of warlords. "The leader of the Draxian Empire. The crystal has awakened." The figure hissed. "It calls to the ancient codes. The Zerani weapon must not be found." One warlord growled. "Shall we send the destroyers?" The leader's eyes glowed red. "No. Send the hunter." Back on Ray's ship, Kale was sleeping in the co-pilot seat, the crystal safe in his hands. Ray watched him for a moment, then turned to the stars ahead. He entered the new coordinates. The ship turned slowly toward the edge of known space, toward Zeranos, a lost world, a buried secret, and maybe the truth behind why humans were more important than anyone knew. Chased through the stars, Ray's ship moved like a shadow through the deep silence of space. The stars behind them faded as they traveled closer to the dead zone, a place no human dared to go. In the blackness ahead, no stars twinkled, no planets glowed, just endless darkness and the unknown. Inside the ship, Kale sat near the front window, holding the crystal tightly. "Are you sure you want to do this?" Ray asked. Kale nodded. "My father believed the answer was out there." "I believe him." Ray didn't answer. He stared at the dead zone. A part of him wanted to turn back, but something else, something stronger, told him to keep going. They were not just flying to a lost world. They were flying straight into danger. Far behind them, in the empty dark, a ship followed. It was silent, black as coal, built for hunting. Inside, a creature moved with perfect calm. The Draxian hunter. It had no name, no fear, no mercy. Its only mission was simple: find the boy, take the crystal, kill the human. Ray's ship shook suddenly. Warning, power spike detected. The computer said. Ray looked at the dashboard. Something wasn't right. The crystal was glowing again, brighter this time, but now it was pulsing. It's trying to connect, Kale said. Connect to what? Ray asked. Before Kale could answer, the ship's lights flickered and the cockpit filled with a soft blue mist. The crystal projected an image. A large planet appeared in the air. Zeranos. Blue oceans, silver mountains, massive floating cities, then a fire, explosions. The sky turned black. Cities fell from the sky. Ships fled. A voice echoed in the ship. If you are seeing this, the seed has survived, and so has the threat. The Draxians will never stop. Find the Guardian. Only he can protect the last key. Ray frowned. Guardian? Who's that? Kel's eyes were wide. I don't know, but my father told me. The Guardian is not Zerani. He's human. Ray leaned back in shock. Me. He whispered. The message faded. Silence returned. Then, a sharp ping. Enemy lock. Detected. Ray sat up. Hold tight. Behind them, the Black Hunter's ship had found them. A red beam shot past, missing their ship by inches. Kale held onto the seat. It's them. Ray pushed the ship forward, weaving between asteroids and debris left in deep space. The engine screamed. We're too slow, Ray said. They'll catch us. Kale reached for the crystal. Let me try something. He placed both hands on it and whispered in Zerani. The crystal flashed, and suddenly the ship's systems lit up in bright blue, power levels rising. The computer said. Ray looked around. What did you do? I gave it permission. Kale said, eyes glowing softly. It's helping you now. Ray hit the thrusters. The ship jumped forward with speed he didn't know it had. The hunter's ship followed, but fell behind. It fired again, but missed. Asteroids exploded behind them. Ray moved fast, faster than ever, and finally broke through a field of floating rocks. The hunter's ship clipped one of the large stones and spun out of control. They had escaped. For now. Ray slowed the ship. Nice work, he said. Kale smiled for the first time in hours. Later, as they floated safely through empty space, Ray looked at Kale. You said I might be this Guardian. Kale nodded. Maybe you are. The crystal responds to you. Ray stared at the stars. I'm not a hero, kid. I used to deliver fuel. I'm just a broken man trying to forget the past. Kale looked at him carefully. My father used to say, sometimes the best protectors are the ones who lost the most, because they don't want others to feel the same pain. Ray didn't answer. Far away, the Draxian hunter ship floated damaged. Its space. Inside, the hunter sat silently. Then, its red eyes opened wider. The crystal had awakened. The Guardian had been found, and soon all of Earth would be in danger. Asterisk. The message hidden in the crystal ship floated in silence at the edge of the dead zone. Just beyond the black veil of empty space, the hidden path to Zeranos waited, and with it, secrets long buried. Inside the ship, the glowing blue crystal lay in Kale's hands. Its light pulsed like a heartbeat, faster now, warmer, as if it could feel that it was close to home. Ray watched Kale from the pilot seat. The boy hadn't spoken much since their escape from the Draxian hunter. Something was on his mind. Ray finally asked, what's inside that thing? Kale looked up. A memory. My father said it holds more than just directions. He said it holds the truth about the war and about the Guardian. Ray stood and walked closer. Can we see it? Kale shook his head. Not yet. It's locked. It needs something more. Ray raised an eyebrow. More of what? Kale looked straight at him. It needs you. Ray laughed nervously. You keep saying that, kid, but I'm not special. I'm not a soldier. I'm not even brave. I just didn't want to see you die. Kale said nothing. He turned the crystal gently in his hands and placed it on the console. Then something unexpected happened. The ship's lights dimmed, the air turned colder, and a bright sphere of light floated out of the crystal, spinning slowly in the air between them. A voice began to speak. It was calm, deep, familiar, to the one holding this memory. I am Taran, once a leader of the Zerani people. If you are hearing this, I am gone, but my last hope remains. Kale's eyes filled with tears. That's my father. Ray stood still. We lost Serranos because of our pride. We created something powerful, a living weapon, something that could protect us forever. But we failed to understand it. The Draxians took it, twisted it, and used it against us. But we built one more thing, a final lock, a safeguard hidden in the stars. It can only be opened by someone who carries the balance of heart and strength. Not just Serrani, not just human, but both. That person is the Guardian. The voice paused, then it said something neither of them expected. And if you're hearing this, it means the Guardian is you, Ray Monroe. Ray stepped back. No, this has to be a mistake. The crystal glowed brighter. The voice continued, your DNA was added to the Serrani code years ago. During the Earth Peace Project, we never told you, but you were chosen, Ray. Watched, tested. You are part of both worlds. Ray's heart pounded. This is crazy. Kale looked at him. You're the Guardian. I knew it. No, I'm not ready for this, Ray said, backing away. You don't have to be ready, Kale whispered. You just have to try. Suddenly, alarms screamed across the ship. Multiple ships detected. Ray ran to the control panel. Draxians. 3 of them, fast, armed. Kale held the crystal. We can't fight them. We won't, Ray said. We run. But this time, the ships were too close. A beam hit their left engine. The ship jerked hard. Hold on, Ray shouted. He turned the ship toward a nearby asteroid field. Dense, dangerous, but maybe their only chance. The Draxians followed, firing rapidly. One beam missed by inches. Another clipped their wing. Sparks flew. Ray pushed the damaged ship into the rocky maze. They twisted through tunnels of stone and dust. The walls were too tight. One wrong move could end them. The crystal pulsed faster. Then it spoke again. There's a way. Ray looked at Kale. What? Kale nodded. The crystal. It can link to the ship. Before Ray could ask how, Kale placed the crystal into a port near the dashboard. Suddenly, everything changed. The ship lit up in blue light. Controls moved smoother. Warnings stopped. The ship almost glided through the rocks like it knew the way. The Draxian ships struggled to follow. One crashed into an asteroid. Another got lost. Only one stayed on their tail, the Hunter. But the path was too narrow. At the last turn, Ray made a hard dive through a rock arch. The Hunter ship tried to follow, but clipped the stone. Boom. Silence. They had escaped again. Later, floating in the quiet of space, Ray sat staring at the stars. Kale came up beside him. What now? The boy asked. Ray looked at the crystal. We go to Serranos. We find out the full truth. We find this weapon, this key, and stop the Draxians before they reach Earth. Kale smiled. You're ready now. Ray didn't answer, but for the first time in a long time, he believed he could be more than what he was. He believed he might be exactly what the galaxy needed. The betrayal ship groaned as it entered orbit around a forgotten station floating above a cold, gray moon. It was old, abandoned by most, the kind of place where no one asked questions and money meant more than laws. Ray didn't like it. Not at all. But the ship was damaged. The engine was leaking fuel. The food packs were almost gone, and Kale hadn't slept in over a day. They needed supplies. They needed rest. We'll stay here for a few hours, Ray told Kale. No talking to strangers. Keep the crystal hidden. Kale nodded, slipping the crystal under his shirt. Ray checked his gun. He didn't like surprises. Inside the station, the air smelled like rust and oil. Lights flickered. People of different species wandered in silence. Smugglers, broken soldiers, and those with too many secrets. Ray moved carefully, Kale close behind at a small shop. They met a trader named Bran, a tall, thin alien with red eyes and a calm voice. You're lucky, Bran said. Not many humans come out this far. We're not tourists, Ray said. Need fuel, food, engine repairs. Bran nodded. I can help. Follow me. Ray hesitated, but they had no better options. Bran took them to a quiet side room where his workers brought in supplies. He offered food, water, and even medical packs for Kale. The boy ate like he hadn't in weeks. Ray watched everything closely. Too good. Too easy. Why are you helping us? Ray finally asked. Bran smiled. Because I've heard the Draxians are hunting a ship with a child and a crystal. You wouldn't happen to know anything about that, would you? Ray's hand moved to his gun. We don't want trouble. Neither do I, Bran said calmly. Which is why I called them already. Ray stood, gun drawn. Too late. The door locked behind them with a hiss. Bran stepped back, his smile gone. You brought something dangerous here, human. That crystal. It's not just a key, it's a beacon. Kale clutched his chest. The crystal was glowing again. They'll find you wherever you go. You can't run forever. Ray fired at the door, but it didn't open. Enjoy your last few minutes of freedom, Brand said. The Draxians will arrive soon. Then he disappeared through a back exit. Kale was shaking. I'm sorry, Ray. I didn't know it could. Call them. Ray took his shoulder. It's not your fault. We trusted the wrong person. Boom. The station shook. A ship had landed. Heavy. Military. They're here, Kale whispered. Ray looked around. No weapons. One way out. One child to protect. He opened the panel on the wall and began cutting wires. Kale asked, "What are you doing?" Creating a surprise. Within minutes, Ray rewired the station's backup generator. He turned off the lights, locked doors, and overloaded the fire alarms. Screams echoed through the halls as smoke poured out and the lights blinked red, using the chaos. Ray grabbed Kale and rushed into the hall. Draxian soldiers stormed in from the other side, their eyes glowing red in the smoke. Ray ducked behind a wall and fired. One soldier dropped, another returned fire. Kale closed his eyes, and the crystal began to hum. It sent out a wave of blue light. The hallway bent, twisted. Time slowed. Ray felt everything go silent. He turned to see Kale standing, glowing slightly. The crystal is protecting us, Kale said softly. Ray didn't wait. He grabbed Kale's hand and ran through the chaos. They reached the landing bay just as their ship was being boarded by the Draxians. Too late. But then, from behind them, someone shouted, "Over here!" It was a mechanic, one of Brand's old workers, a human. "I saw what he did to you," the man said. "I don't trust Draxians. Take my ship. It's small, but fast." Ray didn't ask twice. He and Kale jumped in the new ship as Draxians chased them. The engines roared. Ray hit the thrusters. They blasted out of the station just as it exploded behind them. Ray's trap. In the quiet of space again, Kale sat shaking. "We almost died." Ray sat beside him, exhausted. "But we didn't." Kale looked at the stars. "Why do people keep betraying us?" Ray didn't answer at first. Then he said, "Because some people are afraid of power they don't understand, and others will do anything to control it." Kale whispered, "The Draxians won't stop, will they?" Ray stared at the stars ahead. "No, not unless we stop them first." Kale looked up. "Will you still protect me, even if it means facing them?" Ray didn't hesitate. "You're not just a mission anymore, Kale. You're my son now." And for the first time, Kale smiled, not just with his mouth, but with his heart. Asterisk of Father's War stars outside were cold and silent, but inside Ray's heart, a storm had begun. Kale was gone. Taken. It had happened so fast. They were resting on a small forest moon. Ray had finally let his guard down, thinking the danger had passed after escaping the space station. But the Draxians weren't done. They had been watching, waiting. A flash of light, a scream, smoke. When Ray woke up, the ground was torn apart and Kale was gone. Only a burn mark was left behind, the same red pattern used by the Draxian elite. Ray stood at the edge of the forest, staring into the sky. He could still hear Kale's voice in his mind. "You said you'd protect me." Ray clenched his fists. He had failed once before, with his own son. He wouldn't fail again. This time, he would bring Kale back. No matter what it cost. Ray returned to the ship, alone now, but with a new fire in his eyes. He checked the scanners. One signal, just beyond, the belt of a dying star, a ship too large to be a transport, a Draxian war frigate. He knew it was them. He didn't wait for backup. He didn't ask for permission. He just moved. Inside the Draxian ship, Kale sat in a cold, metal cell. He was chained to the floor, weak and shivering. Across from him stood the Draxian hunter, a tall, dark creature with armor that shimmered like oil and eyes that glowed like fire. "You are the last Serani seed," the hunter hissed. "But you are not the danger." Kale looked up, frightened. "The human is," the hunter said. "We saw it. We felt it. The Guardian is awakening." Kale whispered, "You can't stop him." The hunter leaned closer. "We already did. Once." Kale frowned. "What do you mean?" The hunter smiled slowly. "Your father wasn't the first to seek the Guardian. We've killed others. Humans who carried the spark, but were too weak to protect it." Kale's heart froze. Was Ray one of them? No. He refused to believe it. "Ray is different," Kale said. The hunter growled. We shall see. Ray's ship dropped out of warp near the Draxian vessel. It looked like a floating fortress, bigger than any ship he had ever seen, covered in dark cannons, shielded by layers of armor. Ray stared at it. This is suicide, he whispered, but he didn't care. He grabbed his gear, checked his gun, and slipped the emergency escape pod toward the belly of the enemy's ship. A small stealth pod meant for mining operations. It would never survive a full fight, but maybe, just maybe, it could sneak him inside. As he approached, the crystal in his pocket began to glow again. Ray frowned. Not now. The pod connected with the hull. Ray opened the hatch and climbed into the dark underbelly of the enemy's ship. Inside, everything smelled of oil and death. He moved quickly, quietly, through shadowed hallways. Draxian guards marched past, but they didn't see him. He was a ghost now. Every room, every corner. He searched until he found the cells. Through a glass window, he saw Kale alive, shaking, afraid. Ray stepped forward, but then a blast hit him from behind. Pain, light, fire. He hit the ground. The hunter stood behind him, taller than he remembered, glowing with dark energy. You are brave, human, the hunter said, but you are too late. Ray struggled to move, but he couldn't. Then, something strange happened. The crystal, still in his pocket, began to burn. Not hot, not fire, but energy. Ray felt it enter his chest, his mind, his blood. Visions flashed in front of his eyes, cities falling, stars exploding, children crying, but also strength, courage, power. A voice echoed in his mind. You are the guardian, now awakened. Ray's eyes opened, glowing blue. He stood. The hunter stepped back. Impossible. Ray's body moved faster, stronger. He dodged the next attack, grabbed the hunter's arm, and threw him across the room. The glass shattered. Kale ran into his arms. You came. I promised. Together, they ran through the ship, alarms blaring behind them. Ray took out guards. With ease now, the crystal had changed him, not into a killer, but into something sharper, quicker, a protector, a weapon of light. As they reached the escape bay, a large group of Draxian soldiers stood blocking the path. Ray stepped forward. Kale clutched the crystal. Then something new happened. The crystal didn't glow blue. It split. Half of it went into Kale's hand, the other into Ray's chest. Together, they raised their hands. The ship trembled. A shockwave burst from them, knocking the Draxians backward like leaves in the wind. Doors opened. Lights flickered, and before anyone could stop them, the Guardian and the Zorani child vanished into space, aboard the escape shuttle. Back on Ray's ship, Kale sat beside him again, breathing fast. Ray was bruised, cut, tired, but smiling. You have powers now, Kale said. No, Ray replied. We do. That crystal didn't choose me alone. It chose both of us. Kale looked at his glowing hand. What happens now? Ray looked ahead at the stars. We finished what your father started. But deep in the shadows of the Draxian Empire, the true leaders were watching. One of them leaned forward. The Guardian has returned. We must awaken the Eater of Worlds. And far away, beneath the sleeping planet, something opened its eyes for the first time in 1,000 years, becoming the father of a new future as sky above Earth looked peaceful. But peace was an illusion. Far beyond the orbit of the moon, an ancient force had awakened, something hidden deep in the forgotten code of the Draxian Empire. Something older than the stars. They called it Vorex, the Eater of Worlds. It did not speak. It did not think. It simply moved and consumed, and now it was coming for Earth. Ray stood at the command deck of the Alliance Space Fleet, a united force of humans, rebel aliens, and surviving Zorani ships. Behind him, Kale sat in silence, staring at the stars ahead. The child had changed, not just stronger, wiser. The crystal had bonded with him completely now. Half of its power lived in Kale, the other half lived inside Ray. But the true key was not strength. It was connection. Any sign of it yet? Ray asked. A young officer responded. It's not on radar, sir, but we're hearing it. Hearing. The officer put on a headset and turned up the volume. A low, rumbling hum filled the air, like 1,000 whispers buried beneath thunder. Then a single word formed. Guardian. Ray froze. The thing knew his name. Kale looked up. It's calling to you, he said. It can sense the crystal. Ray replied. No, Kale said quietly. It can sense your fear. Meanwhile, In the shadows of the Draxian fleet, their remaining leaders were already abandoning their posts. They had awakened Vorax, thinking it would destroy Earth and bring them victory. But now, they realized their mistake. Vorax had no master. It was coming for everyone. Ray entered the war room, surrounded by holograms of enemy movement. Kale followed, quiet but alert. The Alliance general spoke quickly, with fear in every voice. It's not a ship. It's alive. It feeds on energy, thought, even memories. It destroyed a moon in seconds. Ray raised a hand. How do we stop it? No one answered. Kale stepped forward. The crystal wasn't just made to unlock power. It was made to carry memory. All of it. The history, the light, the truth of both our races. He looked at Ray. You carry the human spirit. I carry the Zerani's soul. That's why it fears us. Ray realized what Kale meant. We are the weapon. As the sky darkened and stars blinked out one by one, the shadow of Vorax filled the horizon. It wasn't shaped like a ship or a beast. It was more like a black wave, swallowing light as it came. Ships fired, lasers hit, bombs exploded. Nothing touched it. Ray and Kale stood on the command deck, surrounded by terrified soldiers. Ray turned to Kale. You still trust me? Kale didn't hesitate. You're my father. They stepped into the center of the ship's core, the place where the two halves of the crystal could finally merge. As they joined hands, the two fragments pulsed, connected by light. A blinding beam shot upward, splitting the clouds of fear. Kale's memories, his father's message, the ancient knowledge of the Zerani poured into Ray's mind. Ray's courage, his pain, his love, his refusal to give up, filled Kale's heart. The Guardian was now complete. Not one person, but two, connected by love. As Vorax moved closer, Ray and Kale floated outside the ship, surrounded by a glowing field of light. Their bodies were shining like stars, their eyes locked on the darkness ahead. Ray looked at the creature. I am not afraid of you, he said. Kale added, we are not alone anymore. The light around them expanded, growing larger, stronger, deeper, powered by memory, by love, by sacrifice. Vorax paused. For the first time in its existence, it hesitated. Then the light struck. It wasn't a weapon of fire or force. It was a wave of truth, a memory of kindness, a flash of a father holding his child, a planet that chose unity instead of war, the last laugh of a son lost to time, the first word of a boy asking for a new dad. Vorax screamed, not in pain, but in confusion. It could not feed on love. It could not destroy purpose. And then it cracked. The black wave shattered. Vorax faded into light. Gone. Hours later, the sky above Earth was clear again. The fleet cheered. The war was over, but Ray lay still. His body had collapsed after the final burst. The energy had been too much. Kale sat beside him, holding his hand. Please wake up, the boy whispered. You promised me. And slowly, Ray's eyes opened. I keep my promises, he said. Kale laughed and cried at the same time. They had won. Not just the war, but the right to choose love over fear. Months later, a statue stood in the center of New Earth Station. It showed a man and a child, hand in hand, looking up at the stars. The words below were simple, to the Guardian and the boy who made him a father. And far above them, in the quiet dark of space, a new signal echoed into the void. Not a cry for help this time, but a message of hope. If you are lost, we will find you. If you are alone, we will stand with you. If you are afraid, we will fight for you, because this time, humanity came for the stars.